Okay, if you've been watching the videos in order, this is the last market structure that we'll be going through for the entire chapter 4. Okay, and today we'll be talking about monopolistic competition. Now, looking at the spectrum of market structures, the monopoly is on the rightmost extreme end, and we know that the monopoly is the most imperfect market that you can find of all the market structures. And on the other extreme end, you have got perfect competition, which is your most efficient, the most desirable market for society, right? And in the middle, you're going to have two different types of market structures. Near the monopoly, you're going to have the oligopoly, where there is, to a certain extent, quite a bit of imperfection. And nearer to perfect competition, you're going to have monopolistic comp. So the characteristics of the monopolistic comp is pretty much the same as perfect competition, except for a few distinct differences. So to find out what these differences are, let's look at the concept of monopolistic competition, and we're going to again check out what are the market structure determinants for monopolistic comp. Now, the first thing is that there's going to be many sellers in a market where there are many buyers. And when I say many sellers, the number of sellers here is actually lesser than the sellers that you have in a perfectly competitive market. So that's one of the differences. And in a monopolistic comp market, the buyers as well as the sellers are going to have imperfect information and mobility about the prices and the cost structures of the other firms. So they don't know everything, right? And you can also be a heterogeneous, or what we call a differentiated good. Okay, and the last one is there are going to be few barriers to entry into a monopolistic competitive market. So let's look at the implications of these market structure determinants. So when there are few barriers to entry, you know that in the long run, none of the firms can be making any positive profits, just like perfect competition, right? The initial equilibrium should also show that they are making zero profits. And the fact that there is a differentiated good, this means that the firms can actually increase the price without losing all of their customers. So this is also due to the fact that there is imperfect information and mobility, which gives the firms some kind of a control over the price. And when they got control over the price, what you will have is a downward sloping demand curve that each firm inside the monopolistic comp is facing. So as you can see, this is going to be something similar to combining perfect competition and monopoly together. So now let's talk about marginal revenue. If you have watched the previous videos before, you will know that the marginal revenue can be calculated with this formula. P multiplied by bracket 1 minus 1 over the price elasticity of demand. For short, let's just call that PED. You will need to understand this formula because we're going to be talking about something that is going to be in relation to that, and that is market power. So how do we actually see whether a firm has got market power? We actually compare the price that it charges and the marginal cost that it is incurring for producing a certain amount of that good in question. So if the difference between the price and the marginal cost is actually very high, okay, this means that you can actually potentially make higher profits. And that's just because of high market power. You're considered to be powerful if you can make profits, right? So if the difference between the price and the marginal cost is lesser, then your potential profits will be lower, and therefore you will have lower market power. So it is very easy to see now that just compare price and marginal cost, you will get market power. You can also look at the marginal cost to price ratio to identify whether a firm has got high or low market power. If this thing is increasing to a maximum of 1, this means that the market power of this firm is relatively low. Okay, it has a maximum of 1 because the surviving firm can only charge a price minimum of MC. So MC divided by MC is 1. And then again, if this ratio is very low to a minimum of 0, then the firm has got very high market power. So you see, it's all about the gap between the price and the marginal cost. Please note that you can also use the price is to marginal cost ratio. Okay, if you use P over MC, then your analysis will basically go in the opposite direction. Okay, now let me introduce to you a more formal way of measuring market power, which is called the Learner's Index. Okay, so the Learner Index is another way to measure the market power, and it is calculated as such. It's the price minus the marginal cost over price. And this can be summarized as 1 over the price elasticity of demand. Now, I'm sure you'll be asking, how is it that the Learner Index in this formula can be summarized into 1 over the price elasticity of demand. Well, at Quickienomics, we actually believe that learning how to derive formulas will actually help us to understand our models better.
Thanks for watching a sample of the Quickienomics online learning experience. We hope you've enjoyed it. We believe that true happiness lies in realizing ambitions and dreams. That's why we make our products specific to your needs, simple to understand and captivating, so that you can learn effectively while saving time, realizing those ambitions and dreams. The Quickienomics online learning experience is a range of supplementary lectures, tutorials, and exam solutions in the form of videos, which you can conveniently view anytime, anywhere. Watching our videos before and after your regular lessons at school, we aim to give you joy in learning and build academic confidence at the comfort of your own relaxed learning environment. So how can you begin? We welcome you to purchase Quickie Dollars to redeem the videos for full access to the Quickienomics online learning experience. Thank you for starting with Quickienomics.